Okay, hi guys, I'm back with my squeaky chair and we've got some Father's Day recommendations for you. Father's Day is a week away, well technically 8 days away, and I have chosen 5 books that I think your dad will love. I think you should buy him all 5, but if you choose just one, that's fine too. So here they are, I hope you enjoy. First up, we have, and it's no surprise, honestly, if you follow me on social media, you have heard about this book. David Adams Richards' Crimes Against My Brother is obviously a book I've been talking about everywhere. I even made an audio book club with my friend and colleague Shona, and if you're not following her on Twitter, you should be. Crimes Against My Brother is the story of Evan, Ian, and Harold, and obviously it's set in New York because New York. Oh my gosh, it's not set in New York. It's set in New Brunswick. Okay. Anyway, New Brunswick. That's where it's set. That's where David Adams Richards sets all his novels, Mercy Among My Children, all the other ones he's famous for. And this is a story about 3, they call themselves brothers, but they're really friends. And they make this blood pact in the first 25 pages of the book. And this blood pact, it's like, oh, we'll be friends forever. And that is not what happens. It's not even a little what happens. And if I were to give you anything like, oh, this is what happens after those 25 pages, I'd be giving some of it away. So I don't want to say anything, but I will say pick up this book for dad and watch him get devoured. Like, watch him devour it. Honestly, he will. And then you and your dad can have your own audiobook club. Next up, Medicine Walk by Richard Wagamese. Richard Wagamese is an author that I love. I've read everything he's written, and I think he's fantastic, and so does Joseph Boyden, according to this quote right here, which I'm going to read. It says, Richard Wagamese has become a master. This brilliant novel is his heart song, his crowning achievement thus far. I don't know how else to say it. I completely agree. It's a story about a father and a son, and the father his health isn't well, and so they go on this walk together, and it reveals more about their relationship than both had ever intended. So highly, highly recommended. Honestly, it's not that long. I think it's like 200 pages, maybe. You can see I have notes on the back. And honestly, I think it's really, really great, and your dad probably will devour it on a Sunday afternoon. Then it didn't make sense, honestly, to have a Father's Day recommendation, because when you walk into any kind of Shoppers Drug Mart or any place where they sell cards, it's weird because all the cards say like, dad loves beer, dad loves to like lie around. My dad is not someone that lies around, but my dad does love beer. Obviously, I'm from the Maritimes, so beer is like a household thing in the Maritimes, and we probably drink it in our kitchen. And this Beerology book it says everything you need to know to enjoy beer and even more. It is filled with great recipes, how to freeze your glasses, how to taste beer, and a whole bunch of different other things. So the Biology Quadrant. It's filled with so much great stuff, and it's one of those books like your dad will continuously come back to for years and years to come. So this will be a staple in your household if you pick it up for dad this Father's Day. And then I included a book that I absolutely loved. It's called it's not called David Sax. It's written by David Sax, and it's called The Tastemakers. And the subtitle, if you can't read it, reads, Why We're Crazy for Cupcakes But Fed Up with Fondue. This is a book about why we get so obsessed with food trends and how they become such a big deal. Why do we pick up bacon and kale and chia seeds now, and fondue is like a thing of the 80s. It's a really fun read, but it's so interesting. He's really done his homework, and he's really great to follow on social media. So I think your dad will find a lot of interesting tidbits in this book. Why do it goes off there? No, this way. Anyway, highly recommended. Dad will love it, and you'll have lots to talk about. And maybe dad will pick up some kale, and you guys can eat it while you read this book. And then last up, I have included a book that came out last year called A Good Day's Work by John Demont, and I had the pleasure of meeting John Demont, and this whole book is why jobs that used to be so prominent are no longer prominent, and why that has happened. Obviously, technology has a lot to do with it. He and I had this great chat about why trade jobs have disappeared, and when he went, the whole book is broken up into sections about different, so he goes like with the milkman, and he travels with the post office guy, the mailman, or mail woman. And just like he travels along with them and figures out like why they feel like their industry has changed and so on and so forth. It's a really interesting read. When I picked this up, I was like, oh, it might be good. I'll dip into it. And I read it in Florida. I remember reading it in Florida. And I just like, I ignored everybody that I was with, and I just sat and read this whole thing. It was fantastic. And I had so many questions. So I'm sure your dad will have tons of questions, but I think that there'll be lots of things in here that he'll be like, I remember when. And there you guys have it. 5 books. Yeah, so those are 5 books that I recommend for Dad. Hopefully my dad doesn't watch one of them, because he'll be getting one for Father's Day himself. It's the Beerology one. I hope you find a great book for Dad. If you have any questions, or if there's something on here that you think your dad won't enjoy, and you want a further recommendation, please feel free to reach out, and I will happily help. I hope you all have a happy Father's Day, and I'll see you back in July with another book recommendation video. Bye!